And welcome, everybody. Welcome to the Homeschool Connect Expo. It's the month of June 2001. That means that we are in our online learning fair at the Homeschool Connect Expo. And we are coming to you live. We have a live interview today with UnLock Math. And it's an awesome program that you've got to, test out and check out and everything. But for the online learning fair, there's links right below. You can go in and see all of the online learning fair and all the booths. There's a booth right to unlock math as well too. But make sure you like and you share this. And if you're watching live on Facebook or YouTube, you will be able to ask your questions, and those questions will come directly to me, and we can ask them on there. So anyway, thank you for being a part of Homeschool Connect Expo, and just make sure you share. We've had a record month last month, an amount of attendees, and we're just going to keep going and keep growing, because I know there's a ton of people looking to homeschool, that are homeschooling. It's a whole nother world out there, and we're trying to got Matthew Blackwood. He's with UnLock Math. Let's bring him on and welcome him. So here we go. Hey, Matthew, how are you doing?
Hi, Sam. I'm doing great. Thank you for having me on here, and thanks everyone for joining, who's joining us live, and those that will log in later and catch the replay.
Yeah, thanks for being a part of Homeschool Connect Expo. We really appreciate it. And as a math lover, I love these conversations. Talking about math and talking about this program. And we were talking earlier that I would have loved to have this program for our kids when they were going through, because I think it would be absolutely perfect for this. But why don't you introduce yourself and introduce everybody to UnLock Math, and so that we can get to know you and the company more.
Okay, great. Thanks. Well, I'm Matthew Blackwood. I'm one of the founders of UnLock Math. My wife, Alicia Blackwood, is the other founder, and she is the brains behind our entire operation. The story of how we got started really goes back to right after we got married. She taught at a small private school in my hometown. She moved from Canada to my hometown in Georgia, and it was a small college prep private school. And she was teaching AP Calculus. And I remember I would go and catch lunch with her sometimes and catch the tail end of a class. And I was just amazed at her teaching style and how she had the entire class on rapt attention. And calculus is not really one of those subjects that does that. And I remember telling her way back then, I said, if we could bottle you up, we would really have something. And a number of years later, in 2013, we were sitting at our kitchen table, looking through curriculum for our own children, our two oldest boys. And I remember she saw something in, it was either a homeschool magazine or something we were looking through while we were looking for curriculum. And she says, it was something online. And she said, why couldn't we do something like this? And it had always been a dream of ours to find a way to work together, because we just love spending time with each other. And I looked at her and I said, we've got the skills. I had worked some in a local television station. And so I knew that I could do, film the videos. And UnLock Math was born in that conversation. And about a year and a half later, in December of 2014, we launched our first course, pre-algebra. And we've just been flying since then, launching about a course per year and helping students with math.
Yeah, I mean that's awesome. Now you started with the one, and what subjects do you have now?
Well, we went on to develop Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, and Pre-Calculus. But then we were getting a lot of calls and emails from parents who might have a student that was 13, 14, 15, even 16 years old that was stuck at a 3rd to 5th grade math level. And I kept telling Alicia, we've got to do something for these kids. And the ones that either the school dropped the ball on, and because I was on the phone with, I've got to bring this in, with a mom in California last year, and her son had just made an A in Algebra 1. She'd pulled him out of school to homeschooling, had him assessed, and he assessed at a 5th grade level. So she went back to him. She's like, how did you make all A's in Algebra 1 if you're on the 5th grade math level? He said, well, the teacher was putting the answers on the board for us. So, I mean, that's how your kid can fall behind.
Oh, wow.
So, but to help these kids, we developed a course we call Foundations, and it starts at a 2nd to 3rd grade math level. We presuppose almost no prior knowledge. We build them up from 2 plus 2 and get them ready to enter pre-algebra all in the same year. And we've had such success with that course. It's amazed me, but I knew there was a need for it.
I bet. I mean, I've watched a lot of videos of your wife going through the teaching and everything. I could see where that foundation one would be amazing for people to have.
We have a family that kind of beta tests our program for us. So they've gone through all our courses, and Foundations was one of our last courses, and they put their youngest daughter in it, but their older daughter, who was just a year older, was watching the videos and had gone through 6th grade the year before, and she's in a different program because we didn't have a 6th grade yet. And she said, Mom, I wish I'd done this. I think I would understand everything a lot better.
Yeah, well, that's awesome. That's very cool. So you started and you've been growing. Now you do now, do you have to pick as a teacher, as a parent? Do you have to pick what subject, or how does that work?
Yeah, typically a student has access to one subject at a time.
Okay.
Now, if they need review in a prior subject, we can open that up for them, and things like that. But typically, a student is in one course at a time and has access to that. Now, the parent can toggle between, like you can. Let's say you buy a year access to UnLock Math, and your student finishes the one course, you can swap them into the next course for your remaining time, so that you're still you keep going without paying more.
Okay.
So we're essentially selling access time that way. And one of the things that's unique with us, I don't know of any other online program that does this, is we're completely self-paced. So you work at your pace. The lessons are available to you 24/7, but 9 to 4 Eastern time, Monday through Friday, except for on holidays and maybe a handful of other days a year, we've got live teachers on call in our online chat. They come on there. Students come on. I'm having problems with lesson 8.4. Can you help me understand this? And we're right there to help them. So you have self-paced, so it's flexible with your schedule, but you've got access to live teachers so that you don't have to, I got to look this up and figure out how to teach my child. No, we take care of that for you.
Yeah. I mean, I was going to ask you about that because, reading through, and for everybody that's on here, click on the button and go out to their exhibitor booth. It has a ton of information, a ton of videos, so you can kind of see, his wife and the teaching style and how she's able to do this. I love how you've recorded it. It's a beautiful laid out, and it's really nice and easy to follow. But I do know, a lot of people are very worried about teaching math. That's one of the things that, especially I think families kind of hit on, like, hey, you're not good at math. How are you going to teach math? And I love this program because it has that live chat feature. So if you don't know it, and the kids are stuck, then man, have that person there to be able to back you up and help the child on the live chat. That's amazing.
Exactly. It's a way a lot of kids might be apprehensive about raising their hand in a live online class atmosphere because they don't want to admit they don't know something. But with the chat, it's a bit impersonal in that, we're not seeing them. They can ask it without any apprehension that way. But on the other hand, we can escalate this to like if we're not able to help them just walking through some problems on chat, we can escalate that to a shared whiteboard environment where they can see what we're writing. We can see what they're writing. We can work through things together that way.
Wow.
We've escalated it to video calls, phone calls. Our goal is for your student to understand the information and to be successful at math. And so we do whatever we can to make that happen.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool. And so let's see. We have our first question. And it kind of goes along with kind of what we're talking about. About the yearly access. Is it a calendar year? Is it just whenever you sign up?
It is a calendar year. Like if you sign up today, you've got it till this day next year.
Okay.
You can also, like if you sign up today, you can set your start date for September 1st if you want, and then that begins your calendar year. Okay. So there's flexibility that way. And on our monthly, like if you choose to go monthly, you can pause those subscriptions, say over the summer, or a lot of people take off a month for Christmas holidays. Mm-hmm. So you can, we try to be really flexible that way.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool to be able to do that. And are you paying per child? And do you have sibling discount?
Yes, it is per student, but for each additional student, it's half price. We've just had our 5th child ourselves, so we understand the budgetary constraints of larger families, and so we really wanted to reduce the cost for your 2nd, 3rd, 4th. We've got one family with us that signed up last month. That's are actually 6 students with us, which they've adopted some. So like 6 in high school. How's that? No, they adopted some.
Okay. That's awesome. All right. So why don't we show them a little bit of kind of what the program looks like? Do you want to share your screen or?
Sure.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can share it here. Share screen. And
because I know people will be amazed. This is a really cool program. That you can take pretty much anywhere. You just need to have internet access, right?
That's right. All you need is internet access. It works on pretty much any device, Chromebooks, tablets. It'll work on an Android phone, an iPhone, although I don't recommend that because it is a bit squished.
Small. Yeah.
But at least it will work. Our son's doing our geometry, and sometimes he'll do it on his phone if we're out or something like that. Let me see. I'm going to. This is our homepage here. One thing, we just won the 2021 Academics Choice Smart Media Award, which we're very happy to have won.
Yeah, that's huge.
I will go, and I'm just going to log into a student account, so that I can take. Oops, it is saved here. Now, this is our test account, and so I've got access to a lot of different, most of our courses here, and you can see my grades are fairly poor, but that is because I just run through these assignments without really caring if I'm getting them wrong or right.
Yeah.
Because I'm always doing something like this. So here's how, when a student logs in, it's going to take them right to their next lesson. And in this case, it would be solving systems of equations by elimination. And they can print reference notes or view them online. And so this is essentially our textbook version of the lesson that they're going to go through that day. These notes can be printed off in 3-ring bound or bound at a printer like Staples or something like that. If you want to print the whole It's hundreds of pages, but our whole essentially textbook. You can do that, but we do recommend they having these reference notes to reference during the lesson. We begin with a 5-question warm-up. We take these questions from the concept that they learned the day before. So it's a quick check just to make sure that they remember what they learned. And it also helps them to switch gears from the subject they were doing before into math in a way that's non-challenging, because they should know this. They did it the day before. So it's just a warm-up to make sure they remember that and to help them switch gears. Then they have the video, and this video is right at 7.5 minutes. And it's my wife teaching in all the videos. She has a very engaging style that really draws the students in. One of the things we hear
in today's lesson, we're going to talk about solving systems of equations by elimination. Now,
one of the things we're told over and over again is that the students really feel like they form a connection with her through these videos, because one of the things that we so wanted to do, a lot of math videos you see, the teacher is half on the screen, half off the screen. They're back to the screen most of the time, writing on the board,
or just
or just a voiceover.
Yeah.
And so Alicia really looks through the camera at your student. That was her big goal, is to speak one-on-one with the person watching the video. And we really feel that she's captured that. I'll run through this a little bit more.
Elimination, when we want to eliminate one of the variables and solve for the other. All right, so solve this following system using elimination. We have 2x plus 3y equals 6. 2x minus 2y equals 16. Now, the question is which...
So she stays in contact with the viewer, which is so important in forming that connection and that human bond. We were actually at a convention, and a university professor came up to us and wanted to know more about our program. And the more we talked to her, the more excited that she got, because it come to find out, she studied what she was going through for her PhD, I believe it was how students learn math best. And in her research, she had found that students learn best when they can see the teacher. She said a lot of math programs you'll find are voiceover types, and students don't learn or retain as well with those programs as they do ones where they actually see the teacher and see the teacher going through the work. So that was interesting to us. After the video, we give students 10 practice problems that are just on the concept that they learn in that video. After each question, they're going to view a complete solution, and I'll open up a set of practice problems. You see, I got a 0 on the one that I did before. Every time I click this, I'm going to get a new set of practice problems. And oops, I am not sure what happened there, but okay. So I would have gone through this set before, and now it's going to give me an entirely new set of practice problems. And I would put an answer in, and I'm just going to put anything and put verify. Of course, I've got that wrong. And this is one that's going to walk me through several steps. So I'm going to solve for y, then verify that, and then it's going to tell me, of course, I got that wrong, but then it's going to explain what I should have done and how I should have arrived at the solution. So you see that we're quite thorough with the solutions that we've written here. And I'm just going to go back to the to here. And what's going to happen is if I go through that and I make an 80, then my score changes to an 80. I know there's some other programs where if you get a 0 or 20%, they're going to average the ones that you retake, so that it's going to be really hard to bring your grade up. We give students their best attempt. Parents can go on and see every attempt, when the student did it, how long they spent doing it, every single question that was asked, the student's answer, our solution. We give a lot of granular detail for parents.
Wow. That's
After
awesome.
those, yeah, it's really helps the parents stay on top of things. And the students can go back and look at that stuff too, but they're oftentimes not quite as interested in doing so.
Yeah. Well, I love, I mean, I will point out because I know, I mean, this is huge. When you get it wrong, it just doesn't tell you, hey, you got it wrong. It actually goes in and shows. And the way a lot of people learn is if you immediately show them, and show them what they did and everything else, and they have a larger percentage of chance of remembering how to do that instead of just saying, "Oh, you did it wrong. This is the answer." And so I love that but all that detail there, that's huge.
My wife wanted to put so much work on the front end of this, that and making it, explaining it really well in the videos, but then having the solutions in the questions, so that students have all these tools to use to understand. If they miss the first question in practice problems, hopefully they get the other 9 correct because they learned from that mistake. They say, "Oh, that's a mistake I made. I won't make that mistake on the next question." And through the practice problems, they get successively more difficult. The first 3 are kind of easy. The next 3 or 4 are medium, and the last 3 or 4 are more difficult. So they get successively more difficult. Another thing I want to bring out right now before I move to the next thing is when I first broached the subject of online chat to my wife, we had released pre-algebra. We didn't have Algebra 1 done yet. So we were hard at work, working on making Algebra 1. And so I said, I really think this would be added value and something that, no one else is doing. And it kind of scared her because how am I going to have time to answer these chats while I'm trying to develop, our next course? Yeah. And I said, well, let's try it out and see what happens. And the interesting thing to me is we'll have hundreds of students a day working on UnLock Math. We might have 3 or 4 come on for chat. And I credit that to how incredible her teaching is and the rest of how our program is built so that the students have the tools to figure out their mistakes. And, that's an additional learning tool for them. And so there's not as much need for us to provide that extra help. Yeah. Although we have it there for the ones that do need it. It's not very often.
That's awesome. Well, I mean, that does show, that these lessons are working.
Yes. Yeah. After the practice problems, we give them 10 Stay Sharp questions, and the Stay Sharp questions are a continual review because I say this a lot. If you've got kids and if you just think about yourself, if you learn something and learn it really well, I mean, you know it today, but you don't touch it for 3 months, how much are you going to remember? Yeah. A lot of times we expect our kids in school to, well, you should remember this. You learned this 3 months ago. Come on. If you don't touch them for 3 months, how well do you remember it? So we want to continually touch these concepts so they get locked into long-term memory, because each time they do that type question, it widens the neural pathway that's been created when they learn it. And the wider you make that neural pathway, the more permanent it is. Then we also give them a challenge question each lesson. And the challenge question is the only thing in our entire program students can't redo. They only get one chance at it, but it's bonus. If they don't get it right, it doesn't count against them. If they do get it right, let's say a student were to get every single question right, they get a 5% bonus in total. Most students make anywhere from 1.5% to 3%. Because they are really challenging. We've had some gifted students in our program. We had one girl that graduated high school at 12, went through our math, and she didn't get them all right. So don't expect your child to get them all right, and don't feel bad if they don't. But everything else in our program can be taken multiple times. We give them new questions every time, and they can, they get to keep their best attempt when we calculate their grade. Every second or third day, we'll have a quiz, and it's just a 5-question quiz that, again, more review. At the end of each unit, we have a unit review, which is 30 questions, and it's essentially just practice for the test, the unit test, which we then give them, and the test is 20 questions. And we have midterm reviews and exam and a final review and exam as well. And each unit we also, not this one, because this is actually, I'm in an old version of the course. We have the 2021 version, and in that we have printable assignments, which I will show. And this is for students that are in charter schools or something else like that, where they might have to show work. And so we wanted to give them an assignment that they could print out. It's just 5 questions.
Okay.
And this gives them the ability to turn in work if need to. Some home study programs you have to do that, and some you don't. So, but we wanted to, we always are looking for ways we can provide more value to parents and take care of more of the things for them. We have the report card we give, and of course this has just about every course here. You can open up each unit and see what's been completed and what the scores are. And at the top, there's the overall score, progress bar. And we have the grade book, and that's where you can get into really granular detail.
Okay.
I was mentioning. So I'm going to go into that. My internet's been slow here lately. You see all these locked assignments I've got at the top?
Yeah.
Students are able to open multiple assignments, and sometimes an assignment they've completed will be up here and locked, and parents may think, oh, they haven't completed it. But if we just change the default to pull in more assignments, because the default is 20, then and you can filter things. There's lots of filtering you can do to filter, drill down to just what you're wanting to look for. You see, I don't turn in many assignments.
Yeah.
Trying to get down to some that I have. Okay, so this details that you'll see is what you click on to open up and view the questions that were asked, the student's response, and also the, so I'm going to pull one up that looks like it's got some information in it. And just to show you what you'll be able to view. And so you'll see we have the response, correct response, and then the solution. And depending on the question, the solutions can be short, they can be long, but we've got that detail for you.
Wow. I mean, that's amazing. And this is, I love that, where the parents can get to see all the stuff and know what's going on, what's happening. And then also, the grade book to be able to see the details, if, to be able to run through or talk to them. And I mean,
yeah,
this is impressive.
We've tried to think of everything from this viewpoint of we're homeschool parents ourselves, so what would we want to see in a program, and also then taking my wife's experience in the classroom and how she's seen students learn best. And we've had such success with students from ones that have multiple learning disabilities, whether they be autism or something else, to gifted students. and they're both staying engaged, learning. I really do believe that our program serves the broadest range of students of any that I know of.
Yeah. I mean, that's absolutely amazing to be able to have all of that, for for the parents, because I mean, there's so many parents that that were emergency schooling, and then they realize, okay, all right, this worked out, and let's really dive into homeschooling. And there's a lot of parents are going through, and math is one of these that, some people had trouble, in their schooling, and need a little help and guidance, especially going through, the higher, pre-cal and calculus. That was a fun time going through and doing that with our kids. This program would have totally helped, because I'm really impressed. I love the video quality, of the green screen. You could tell that you really put a lot of time and effort into everything that's inside those videos, from just not her just teaching, but to make it simple and easy right there on the screen. Very impressed.
We wanted it to be, visually engaging, and to get the concepts across in the best way possible. And going back to the math and homeschooling, is it really seems to be one of those make it or break it subjects, especially in high school, to get math right. And we got an email, I think it was 2 weeks ago, from a parent, and she said that having math figured out with us was a big reason for her to continue, to choose to continue homeschooling. She had done because of COVID, they were homeschooling, but we're like on the fence as to whether they were going to keep up with it. And she said just having math figured out made the difference for her. And that's hearing things like that. That's the reward that we get for what we've done.
Yeah, that's awesome. One of the one question one of the people asked is, again, you can go out to the exhibitor booth, have a ton of information, the videos, link out to the website. The website has an amazing amount of information and all this, but they're asking pricing. We kind of went through a little bit with the year and the calendar year, but they're wanting on the pricing.
It's $299 for the first student for a year's access.
Okay.
Or you can monthly. It's $49 a month. Obviously, by the annual is much less expensive.
Yeah.
Each additional student is half price. So you've got that. But you know what? We've got a 14-day free trial, and we're not for everybody. In fact, we had one family that did the 14-day free trial, and then we also have a 30-day money-back guarantee. So they did the 14-day free trial. They purchased, and it was past the 30 days. They came to us probably day 35 or 36, and she said, "You know what? My son prefers to learn by textbooks. I love this program, and I want him to love it, but he wants to use a textbook." So we refunded her entire purchase price, because we're not a perfect fit for everyone. We won't be. I think we're a perfect fit for most, but try us out. We've got the free trial. There's no obligation. You don't need a credit card, and but even once we do have your credit card, I don't want to keep your money if we're not working for you.
Yeah.
We're a small family business, and we're a homeschool family ourselves. And our passion is students learning math. And if we're not the best fit for your family, I'll help you find one that is. If it's textbooks, tell me how your child learns best. I'll try to figure out, based on my knowledge of the homeschool math market, what's going to be the best fit.
Yeah. Well, this is absolutely amazing. I'm highly impressed. One, I love math, but I love how you've been able to put all this stuff together to be able to help, kids and the different things. And I mean, like literally, I mean, I can't say enough about the video quality and about your wife and how she's able to go through, and one, she knows what she's talking about, so you can trust her, and I think that comes across on the video. And I think that's different from than just a voiceover of, do they even really know exactly what they're saying, or are they just saying the words, in the script? Yeah. So I think that really comes across.
It's not just that; it's her passion for teaching too.
Yeah.
Her last job in the public system, and this was pre-Common Core, but she was in high school math, and she was teaching Algebra 2. But not only that, one of her tasks was preparing students for they had a graduation test, and preparing them for the graduation, the math portion of the graduation test, plus Algebra 2. But they gave her all the students that had been pushed through, the lower performing students. She had about 160 students between her classes, and they gave her a goal. The goal of the administration for her, because of how low performing her students were, 50% pass the graduation test. They'll be happy. Let me tell you, Alicia was working. She was tutoring kids before school. She was tutoring them on her lunch break. She was tutoring them after school. She was losing weight. She was losing hair. She was tutoring them on the weekends in her home. She had 2 students that didn't pass the graduation test.
Wow.
So, but it was killing her because she would not let these kids fall through the cracks.
That's awesome.
And that's who she is.
That's and you can see it. You can see that there's that love of learning, that love of math that just comes across. And so I one, thank you for putting this this math together, and I love that you did the foundation. I mean, you can really see that you care, and your family and your homeschool family. So I mean, you're right there in the mix of it as well, and the price is really good. I mean, that's a really excellent price for what not only do you get, and the control as with the parent, and with the information for the kid going through. I mean, it's a really good price, to be able to have, this foundational piece. I mean, like you said, this is a big piece that for kids, and if they get it, and they and that's why I keep on going back to that foundation, program. If they get the foundation, if they get the math, and that they see it, and they can understand it, because a teacher has the passion and the love of math, and they get it, it just unlocks so much. I mean, it unlocks so much more than just, a good grade on I mean, it really unlocks the future of that child.
I was on the phone with a mom yesterday whose son just finished foundations with a 99% average. And although we make our courses very easy to understand, and that they're not easy math, we don't dumb down the math at all. Ours are definitely college prep courses. But she said they'd gone through several programs. Her son was discouraged, thought he couldn't do math, thought he would never learn math, never get his math facts. And she said, she was almost crying on the phone with me. She said, "You don't know how you've changed his life." She said, "It goes way beyond math. He's confident now. He's confident he can learn new things. It's changed so much more than just math to have him learn this and be confident in it." And that's like I say, that's so much more rewarding than I ever imagined it would be.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. The everybody that's watching, go out with the links, go out to the exhibitor booth, check out the videos and information and the links, and go out to the website, take them up on that 14-day, trial. Jump on there, try it out, test it out. I know you're going to like it, and like you said, but the only thing is if the kid really loves textbooks or having something, but you even have that where you can print them off and have something as well too. So I mean, I think this is the answer to a lot of people, this question of what are we going to do about math? What are we going to do about algebra and calculus and all those that might seem daunting to go through, and you just answered that. So go out and take out, everybody check out the 14-day, and you're going to love it. And if you can't do a whole year, they have that monthly thing, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And so, just go out and ask the questions, check it out, but before we get off of here, is there anything else that you might want to ask or say that we might not have been able to cover? We covered quite a bit, but I know there's just so much we could say.
I think we've covered most everything. We are in the midst of developing a financial literacy course, and that was set to be released in July, but we didn't get started on the videos. And like I said, our newborn will be 6 weeks on Monday. And so we probably won't launch that until January or February, but it will be the most comprehensive financial literacy course on the market. It's almost college level. It's got everything in it. The other thing I just want to mention, if you want to email me directly at matthew@unlockmath.com, really easy to remember. I'll be happy to answer any questions that you've got later. And of course, you can use the contact form on the website as well, because I get those emails too.
Okay. All right. Well, one, thank you again for you and your wife putting this together. And I think it's going to mean so much for so many kids out there. And I know it has already, but this just the beginning. I mean, I think this is going to really take off very, very much because everything you provide is top notch. It's amazing. So thank you for being a part of Homeschool Connect Expo. We love having you as an exhibitor, and I enjoyed. I can talk about math, and maybe we'll do something else, down the road, and maybe get your wife involved, and we'll talk about math and maybe solve the world problems. I don't know and keep me up on that financial thing. I think that's huge. I mean, that's one thing that just public schools just have dropped the ball on, and a lot of people have, just because they it's kind of like sometimes in the calculus and everything else, they kind of know it, but then try to explain it to the kids. So I love that you've seen a need and you're going to fill that need. So, but awesome.
Well, thank you very much. It was a pleasure being with you today.
All right. Hey, take care. Stay on, and we'll chat here a little bit. But everybody, go out to homeschoolconnectexpo.com and check out the online learning fair, and definitely check out Unlock Math. So appreciate it, and we'll see you back soon.